I am Hilton Samuel, and in this video I want to share with you a very simple, easy tip, strategy, way to be happy. A way to have a happier marriage. Although it is simple and easy, many people miss it. All of us want to be happy. In fact, I dare say almost everything we do is an effort to make ourselves happier. There is almost a relentless pursuit to be happy. In fact, there is a popular movie out called The Pursuit of Happiness. And happiness isn't necessarily about living luxuriously, achieving great accolades in academia, having a good job, or having lots of money, or even being popular. In fact, many people achieve all of these things and are not still happy. So what is the key? Let me just say, it doesn't really involve changing your spouse either. I recently read an article by this lady, Patty Newbold, in which she actually talks about how to have a happier marriage. And she says, the easiest way to a happier marriage does not include changing your spouse. Spouses are hard to change. You and I know that, don't we? Even when they know what you want from them, it can be hard for them to give it to you. So the million-dollar question is, what is that? What is the secret? And when I tell you the secret, it would be very obvious. In fact, Patty Newbold speaks about it in her article on her blog called Assume Love. And I want to just share this line with you. If you have a pen or a pencil, it is good if you write it down. She says, happiness comes from noticing that you are loved. I'm going to repeat that again. Happiness comes from noticing that you are loved. If you want to notice you are loved in your marriage, you need to look for signs. If you want to notice that you're loved in your marriage, you need to look for signs. Because what you look for, you find. What you focus on, you get. And here is the trick, here's the rub. Many of us, we criticize, we complain, we do all of these things that when we are not very happy with our spouses. But guess what? What you focus on, what you put your attention on actually grows and expands. If you focus on the negative, if you complain about what your spouse is doing or not doing, guess what? That's what you would get more of. My son, who was learning to drive, opted and decided that he wanted a specific type of car. And one day he said to me, Dad, you won't believe, I can't believe that there are so many of those cars on the road. I said, yes, Tyrone, that's because now you're noticing them. They have been there all the time. You just didn't see them. And this is the whole point that I want you to really grasp, that what you notice, what you put your attention on, it expands and grows. If you notice that you're loved, if you look for signs of your spouse demonstrating and showing love to you, and if you identify that, the person, your spouse, would be more disposed to do those things that make you happy. I belong to a WhatsApp group, and interestingly, one of the participants on the WhatsApp group stumbled on this idea, and I like to share it with you. I won't share the name of the person, but she says, oftentimes I find myself guilty of telling off her husband, or getting annoyed and going silent when he gets it wrong. For me this week, I'm learning to be intentional about letting M know when he gets it right. And I think she has stumbled on gold, because if she continues to do that, guess what? She would find that her husband is doing or has been doing a lot of things that are right, but she never even noticed that. She was focused on all the things that he did wrong. But now that she's shifted her perspective, now that she's shifted her attention, now that she's focusing on what he gets right, I guarantee you $1 against a dog biscuit that her entire marriage would shift. She would find a plethora of things that he's doing right. And not only that, she would also find that he would continue to do not just the things that he has been doing, he will do even more things. If you want to have happiness, notice, pay attention to the things that your spouse is doing to make you feel loved, and let him or her know about that. So my challenge for you this week is to sit down and catch your husband or wife when he or she does something right. Chronicle it. Keep a journal and let him or her know. And I tell you, there would be a seismic shift in your marriage and relationship. So much so, you will begin to find that the atmosphere changes, that you will feel better, and you will be much more happier. Notice what your spouse is doing to make you feel loved. That's it for another episode. I look forward to sharing other tips and strategies in the upcoming videos.